In 1999, a 14-year-old girl went to Hong Kong police. She claimed that she was being haunted by a ghost. She was alone, and the police initially dismissed her claims as a childish teenage fantasy. She told police that she will continue to be haunted unless she confessed to the details of the murder, one that she was involved in. Intrigued, the police finally followed her to an apartment in the Kowloon district where they found gruesome evidence of a murder. Hi everyone, today we'll be talking about the tragic murder of Fan Man-yi, who was kidnapped and tortured by 3 men and 1 girl. After dying from the torture a month later, her body was cut up and boiled. Her decapitated head was sewn into a Hello Kitty doll in the apartment, leading to the famous name of this case, the Hello Kitty murder. Stay till the end to find out what happened to the apartment building where Fan was murdered. If you're interested in dark and mysterious stories, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on all notification buttons to stay updated on all of our latest videos. Let's continue. So, who was Fan Man-yi? Fan suffered throughout her early childhood and teenage years. She was raised in an all-girls home from young because she had been abandoned by her family. Due to an age restriction, she had to leave the orphanage when she turned 15. Because of this, Fan became homeless and developed a drug addiction. She had to become a prostitute to sustain her drug habit. In 1996, at 20 years old, she married one of her clients, who is a known drug addict. She gave birth to their son 2 years later, not long before she was murdered. Her husband was abusive, and neighbors would describe loud sounds of domestic abuse coming from their apartment. After some years as a sex worker, she eventually found work as a hostess in a nightclub. This is also where she met Chan Man-lok. Chan was a 34-year-old drug dealer, pimp, and a member of Chinese triads. He was one of Fan's regular clients at the nightclub she worked at. She quickly became one of his favorites, and she also became part of his crew that included other henchmen. On one occasion, Fan stole Chan's wallet so she could purchase drugs. It contained about 4,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is roughly 500 USD. She was immediately caught by Chan and returned him the money. However, he demanded that she return him an interest of 10,000 Hong Kong dollars, more than double of what she had initially stole. She pleaded for more time to return him the additional money. Chan was unwilling to wait. Instead, he kidnapped her with 2 more accomplices, Leong Sheng Cho and Leong Wai Lun. Chan's 14-year-old girlfriend, alias Ah Fong, was also with them. Initially, Chan planned to force Fan to prostitute herself to other people to raise the money that she owed him. However, as the group brought Fan back to Chan's apartment, their plan changed. No reason was ever provided for the change in plans. In Chan's apartment at number 31 Granville Road, Tsim Sha Tsui, the group started to take their frustrations out on Fan instead. They beat her and subjected her to sadistic torture. The men also took turns to rape her. She could not work while she was beaten and bruised. The 3 men were constantly high on drugs and seemed to enjoy torturing Fan too much. But the abuse did not stop there. The men kept coming up with new ways to torture Fan and would beat her using various instruments such as metal bars, kitchen utensils, and even furniture pieces. The men also found cruel ways to torture Fan using objects found in the kitchen. They would burn plastic straws and drip the melted plastic on the soles of her feet so that she would be unable to run away. They poured chili on her wounds and forced her to drink oil. Due to these inhuman acts, Fan was no longer able to take clients. Furious at this, Chan inflicted even more abuse on her. Horrifyingly, they would also urinate or defecate on her and force her to eat it. They even made her smile and pretend to enjoy herself. It was a game they played. If she didn't pretend to be happy, they would beat her harder. They told her to smile while they burnt her. A month of this torture went by, and sadly Fan passed away due to the severity of her wounds. The group had to decide what to do with her body. They finally decided to destroy her body. For 10 hours, the men dismembered her body using a saw in the bathtub. They also decided to cook the dismembered parts so that they would not decompose and smell. Using boiling water on the same stove on which they were cooking dinner, the killers boiled the pieces of her body and disposed of them with the household's garbage. Her head, however, they kept. After boiling it on the stove, and allegedly using the same kitchen utensils to stir their meals that they did to move her head around, they sold her boiled skull into an oversized Hello Kitty mermaid doll. Additionally, they kept one of Fun's teeth and several internal organs which they stored in a plastic bag as tokens. How were the police able to know these details? We return to the 14-year-old who first reported the murder to the police about 2 months after it happened. Her pseudonym is Afong, and she is Chan's girlfriend. She was made to participate in the torture of Fun. She also helped to get rid of the evidence of her body. Afong detailed most of the abuse inflicted on Fun to the police. On one occasion, she witnessed Chan kick Fun 50 times in the head. Afong then joined in. When asked what Chan kicked Fun for, she said, "I had a feeling it was for fun." Likely due to her young age and the full extent of her confession, Afong was offered immunity by the police. Because of that, the complete extent of her participation was not made known to the public. Her whereabouts are currently unknown. During the almost 7-week-long trial, the 3 men claimed that Fun had died of a self-induced meth overdose. Because of extensive efforts to destroy Fun's body, the jury ruled that the remains were not sufficient to show whether she was murdered or died in some other way, such as a drug overdose. The jury could not rule that the men intended to kill Fun, which would have meant a mandatory life sentence, but it was determined that she died as a result of their abuse. The judge, who sentenced the trio to life in prison with the possibility of parole, stated, "Never in Hong Kong in recent years has a court heard of such cruelty, depravity, callousness, brutality, violence, and viciousness." Psychiatric reports describe the 3, who were members of a secret trial society, as remorseless. There would be no review for parole for 20 years until 2020. The apartment block where the murder took place was demolished in 2012 and was rebuilt as a hotel in 2016. Soravit on Granville sits on the site of the murder. Would you dare to check yourself into this hotel? Drop a comment down below on what you think of this video. If you have other stories you wish for me to cover, leave a comment and a link for me to look deeper into it. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our latest videos. I'll see you in our next Campfire Stories. Thank you for watching.